Wishing on a star. Follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream. Nothing. Let's take this speaker out. Nothing. Nothing. All right, I'm going to call you on your phone and we'll stay on the video. Your phone there? Okay. Oh, here we go. We're going to have sound.
Hello.
Hi, is Jennifer there, please? Miss Mitchell? Hi, Miss Mitchell. Okay. Oh, you don't put it on speakerphone? You ever use speakerphone? You never use speakerphone? You have a little thing on your phone with the speaker. You can just push the speaker and then it'll go out through the phone. You can just talk from the phone. You know that one. Season. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, well, we're back to normal. That's my normal state. I'm very confusing. Thank goodness. I used to think it was a bad thing. Now I'm like, I know why I confuse everyone. The stoppage factor. Let's just stop. Anyhow. But before that, let's rapport it up and chat. And how's the kids? Oh, oh, wow. So the first day they're like this? It, and this is your 14th year, is that right? 19th year. So you've got a feel for this.
Yeah, it's a lot different. So, however, even though it's been 19 years, it's kind of like my first year. It's different.
Yeah.
It's more enjoyable. Enjoying it.
I'm glad. Wow. Yeah. Well, is that how you say it with your graciousness? There's this one little boy, student son, and he's full of energy. But we're working on it. Well, I think it's a father mother thing. Father grounding, mother grace. And you need both of it. Like me, I don't put up with much of anything. What is that? Again this year? Did you found that out already or wow. Could you ask them, tell me about yourself one after the other?
Oh yeah, they just tell you.
And
Yes,
they
and
and
every
they
morning we start our morning off. I have like a thermometer, 1 through 5, on how you're feeling.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And during that question, you go through each of the children, 20, 30 children, 16 children.
18 now. I got a new student. One student is receiving home health, so he's on my list. He's on my roster. However, he's not doing well. So yeah.
So when you asked that question, it was pretty much a one-day thing, and they all came back in the same day, and there was a quarter of them that said grandparents.
Well, I knew about the grandparents on like Meet the Teacher night.
Oh,
The day I got to meet them.
And
So,
what percentage was the grandparents for your students? 50% or? 30, 40, 50?
It's a lot.
Whew.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to go. Oh, good.
And they love to learn, so just got to keep it moving for them.
Hmm. What's the first lessons that you give? I might do them. I can do simple math. I can do simple math.
Yes. Well, we've been working on addition and subtraction. I just wanted to see.
I've got that covered.
Yeah. Like double digits. And pretty much overall, they're right where they should be. So
Okay.
Where they, what levels they read on, and then building a classroom community. I've been reading a lot of books, and they do like getting to know me activity. So I'm really still building community in the classroom.
I remember in
What's that?
I remember in I think third grade it was. I was the person that read to the students in the library. Maybe that's something that the kids would like.
Oh yeah,
they read to each other, or does one go to the front and read now and then? They're just brainstorming with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do a lot of partner reading and working with a partner. I have them sitting in rows right now, just because I want them to get to know themselves. But they're all facing us. I'll send you a picture of my classroom.
Oh, thanks. So it's like a block right now. It's like the beginning of our class. We go in the direction of structure, even though I look like I'm all nice and fun. We go in the direction actually of structure. And then that structure gives way to feeling, communication, emotions. But in the beginning is structure. Like that?
Yes, very much so. Yeah. Conscious discipline is.
What's that mean? Fun. What?
I like it when you cut in front of me. Go back to your spot. Using your big voice, not a mean voice.
Well, I'm glad we're recording. I hope that the volume might not come through with all this, but I'm trying to have it. You can hear me fine. So somehow, I don't know what's going on with that volume. We should try to work on it, or maybe I don't know what I can do to work on it between now and next time. But
this is the school computer. I don't have my own computer. For me, and it does everything I need it to do except have volume, I guess.
Is it newer this year? No. I
got it last year maybe, or the year before. I'm not sure.
That's fine. Yeah,
it's nothing fancy.
Well, it worked before, no problem. I wonder.
Everything's on, and it won't hook up to my Bluetooth. It's kind of blocked, I guess, to hook up to my earphones.
Let me see if I change this. Okay, try again.
Hello?
No. Hello again.
Hello?
Nope. Oh well. Forget it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll forget that. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I don't know. Okay.
The license on. I don't know if that matters.
No. No, that's fine. That's just stuff that's in Riverside. It has something to do with your mic, I guess. If you go into drivers You might have to reinstall your mic, which rebooting should have done. I can't imagine this on this end because the sound comes through on everything, and it always came through before. So if I go to a YouTube or something, the sound works. But anyway, we don't have to worry because it's only for my YouTube and for me. So who cares? Yes. So, when you begin this whole thing, you you have to have the unmet need clearly defined in your body mind. You have to let go of whatever that you're obsessing about. And believe me, we're obsessing about a million things. You have to go from thinking to feeling, find it in your body mind, where you're going to get your miracle for your life. You must not die with the symphony of your life unfinished. Yogananda. You must not do that. So whatever love you want, whatever money you want, whatever it is, you got to make sure it happens. And it's an inside thing. It doesn't have to do with other people's decisions. It has to do with only your internal world. That's the only thing it has to do with. It doesn't have to do with action. It doesn't have to do with behaviors. It does not. Because actions and behaviors are an overflow of what you are. So where the actions and behaviors come from is what you've got to be working with. The structures of the actions and behaviors of the students come from their family of origin and the emotions of their grandparents and their parents and their interpretation of school shootings, if they know of such things, and whatever. All that's in the world. That's where their behaviors come from. So our behaviors are not, they're the cake that comes out of the oven. So we're always stuck on the cake that comes out of the oven, only on the external things. We cannot see ourselves. We can't do it. If you have some kind of process or some kind of book or some kind of audio, some kind of teacher, some kind of friend, maybe you feel safe enough to see what's going on in there. But if you go your whole life never doing that, you don't have one. It's just quiet desperation and hidden resentment thing. That's not what we do here. We take the time. We make the time no matter what. Primary. That's primary education. What is primary education? Is it kindergarten or something? Oh. Okay. How's the videos, audios? Did you like that Principles and Miracles thing? Principles and Miracles?
Interesting thing about that, I put it in because I wasn't able to listen until I got in bed, and I'm listening to it. I don't know. I think I made it 10, maybe 15, number 15. I was out.
Yeah. Yeah. But then the next night when you put it on, it's ordinary. I already had that.
Because it was only 15 minutes.
Oh.
It reminded me, I made a lot of connections with Corinthians.
Oh, nice. Yes. 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 Tell me about what you mean about in Corinthians. I know you're talking about the book of in the Bible, but tell me more. I'm big on Romans and words of Jesus, and I've read the Bible 100 times. So as soon as you cue me in, I'll know. But right this second, I'm not getting it. But
To me, It's just
Oh, it's faith and love.
yes, love.
Oh, right. Love is patient, love is kind.
Holy Spirit and gratitude. Those were the roots and miracle coming over and over. And I know that when an author or someone repeats themselves, like those are key words that so and that's to me that's how Corinthians is, the love,
Oh, okay.
atonement. So I felt like they were very similar. And I love making connections to other texts like that.
Lovely.
Yeah. So yes, I enjoyed it and I will listen to it again. I did the spiritual realm or spiritual reality.
Oh, you did it?
I'm working on it.
Okay. First half is the whole thing. It gets more weird as it goes on, but it goes into death at the end, which I like, but might be too much for people. But the first half is right on, so don't worry. Okay. How's the birthday party for your girl? Lily? And where's it? Lily and I know. No, I didn't. I'm just saying that. Anytime I say I knew that, I'm lying. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I don't want to go to sleep at night, will you? Lily worked through her whatever happened that I hit me like something on my head that day, or was it that day? Oh, he left. All right. And I said it, didn't I? Was that before or after I said something that you talked to her? Wow. Sometimes I'm too fast and I should never say anything because you never figure out that I have these insights because it's like it's just like 10 days before or whatever. But I can't control it. It just does what it does.
Similar to me, and she's a lot of
She's the prettier one, if we should dare say such things.
and she has a lot of anger. For a long time, she always would say she's a man hater.
Yeah, good for her. Me too. Oh, the light just went on and off by itself. I got these new lights, and this one over here does its own thing by itself out of nowhere. And right when you said that, it just turned off. I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, man hater. Yeah, men are terrible things. Unless they take my course, then they're under my head, my hands on their head like this. So, oh Lord, help us.
That's well, one thing with Lil, you can't, or I've learned with push, but there is a limit, and she just won't hear you. Like you just feel she's not listening. Or should I be? How does it go? She hears me, she's not listening to me.
Hmm. If you cause meditation, if you go into it, that cat is coming and sleeping in your lap. In other words, if you cause meditation, the other person is going in meditation. They don't have a choice. So that's a 7-step process in yourself.
Yeah, and they do. I feel like I spend a lot of time out here in the garage, and they come out here.
Oh, all meditation does it this same way. They all do the embodiment of feeling before the awakening of the mind that sees everything.
I like that word, embodiment.
Embodiment is healing. So what we're doing now between now and the next hour and a half approximately is we're embodying our attention more. The whole world could live or die. I'm not interested. What's going on right now is we are embodying our attention. Now, I try to tell people this is the preparation for relationship. It's not something else. It's not a doing. You might think that it's a doing to get ready for Monday's class, but you know in your heart it's an undoing to get ready for Monday's class. If you sleep good, and the reason I said it's boring the next day when you listen to Principles of Miracles, because that's how we are. You always have to have something new for many years, something different. We're not wise enough to have the same thing and reverence it. Now, you and I have ability to do that to some degree, like Corinthians, like I love faith comes by hearing and hearing by the washing of the water of the word. Because that's how faith is restored when your mind reads the word. When you hear words of wisdom, your mind is washed. Now you're receptive. You're no longer subject object. Me, students, me, daughters, me, William, me, Brent, me. It's not like that anymore. You have this irrefutable gravity. You land because you're finally surrendered. That's embodiment. The head is a stuck waterfall. That stuck waterfall gets words of wisdom by something new, something different, and classic stuff. So you always have to search out something new and then classic. And now that water is unplugged and it goes into the body and it touches the earth underneath you. It's an undoing that causes geniuses to think or to do. Geniuses are nothing compared to enlightened masters. Geniuses are subject-object strategists. Enlightened masters are synthesizers. Do you get any questions? 3 questions each class.
What could you tell me about, and I apologize for pronouncing words wrong. I'm working on that too. Kundalini?
Yes. Kundalini.
Emails. They're having a retreat at the Dala Mountain Center.
Oh. It's a Kundalini yoga place? Yoga thing?
It used to be Shambhala up there in Red Feather Lake.
It's not Shambhala anymore? That's Tibetan, I would have guessed. Drola. Well, Kundalini is Hindu. Of course, I'm going to tell you about it in a sec, but I just wonder what happened to Red Feather Lakes. I was on stage with the Dalai Lama at Red Feather Lakes. Yeah, it's 5,000 people underneath us. Dalai Lama was 5 feet in front of me.
What did you do there?
Well, I was part of the advanced meditation retreat, and the Dalai Lama came to speak, flew in on a helicopter. You know, the Dalai Lama. And all the advanced meditation people were on the stage with him. I don't know how many people there were. It's maybe 100 people or something. So I was just one of them, just on the stage with him. I didn't talk or teach or anything. I was just happened to be, I don't know, seated with him on the stage. And then underneath that, the stage was like the top of the hill. And then underneath that, quite a bit underneath that, there was 5,000 people. So who else was there? Queen of Jordan? And what's his name? The Native American leader, man, horses was there, and they were all on the stage, and then us advanced meditators were there on the stage, and we didn't talk.
What did it feel like? How did you?
Well, that's Kundalini. That's turned on. That's sex. Kundalini is the root power. Kundalini is orgasm strength. That's what Kundalini is. Kundalini, so the eyes and the ears and the nose and the head are surrendered to environment. When it's surrendered to environment, a flood of energy and everything comes in and down. When it goes in and down, it builds at the base of the spine. When it builds at the base of the spine enough, it goes up through the body exactly the same as an orgasm.
Didn't mention any of that.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm the best teacher. There's no question. So if you study about Kundalini, then you'll study about that's the root, the energy of the root chakra. They'll talk about it this way: the energies of your life, once they're preserved and coordinated, form a coiled snake at the base of the spine. That's your Kundalini energy. When that Kundalini is released and not spent on sexual orgasm, I'm not saying that you can't have sexual orgasm. I'm saying that this is what's primary. Then everything is better. The taste of food, orgasm, anything you want to do is richer and more sensual and all that. But you have to take a moment and forget about having another piece of cake and stop grabbing at it, because all we do is grab at it, like the man grabbing at the woman, not knowing what he's getting into. So the same way the woman grabbing at the man, let me feel better, let me get touched. I mean, So you have to just stop grasping for a moment. Like anybody or anything or any event or any stimulation at all. You have to stop grabbing after it for a moment, 1 second, and surrender that every single thing is trying to give you life, every person, every event. So you're finally surrendered. If you're finally surrendered, you reinterpret Brent. Vitally important. You reinterpret everybody. So you can see in your mind's eyes, William's projecting at me. Kids are projecting at me. Everybody's projecting at me. Jennifer's projecting at me. And you have to find a way somehow to surrender to them and to trust them. Once you do, now it's the same like sex, the touches when you fall in love. Oh, honey, you get touched because everybody's projecting at you. So why not just accept that energy? So what I'm saying is that life is a sensual experience, and the sensual experience of life is received when you surrender to these elements and to these energies in this environment, which are primarily psychic. You better write something down. Of course you can. It's on my YouTube. You're a big star. At least in my book. I don't know who sees it. I don't do any marketing, any advertising, so I have hundreds of videos of students on there. Nobody sees anything. But maybe you got a couple views. You check it out. I don't know. Yeah. So this won't be there, of course, because the volume doesn't work. And unless somehow you're being recorded anyway, which is possible. But I mean the audio.
Yeah.
Might be. So you've got to yield to overcome. So you want to create the configurations of coherence in your relationships. You have to create safety and health in your body, mind, and in the body, minds of whoever's in your life, because that's what you're here to do. To do that, you have to completely surrender. When you do that, power will build up, and Kundalini talks about it this way. It's a coiled snake at the base of the spine, right underneath the sexuality. And what it does when it's released is it goes up the spine and out through all the nerves in the body, and it has its peak illuminating the third eye. So If you get a wonderful hug, you drop into your body and you get nourished. And what gets nourished as your roots? Your sex and your digestion. Because it all goes down, it all filters down. When you eat a good meal, you heavily relax. You have good sex with Brent at the beginning of the experience, and then you heavily relax. So all of these nourishments are causing you to have root. Root power is missing from everybody because everybody spends it. As soon as you get turned on a little bit, now you want to eat cake. Or if you feel really good, you're like, I'm going out, I'm getting a guy, I don't care. Somebody, the wife of the, not the wife, the mother of a student, long-term, whatever, kind of, sort of, but I don't know what he does in life, but he's a neighbor over there. And she got deathly ill from kidney stuff. And I knew that she like has these boyfriends all the time. And I would just try to give the son a lesson about, if you're just wild like that, then in Chinese medicine, you're going to drain your kidneys. So the kidneys and the sex are connected in the same thing. The kidneys have the energy of your parents, and the sex is the expression of that. And then what do you do to create root energy? How you can create root energy in your life is a psychological matter and a matter of energy and elements and reinterpreting everybody in your life as being nourishing, as doing the best they can. Everybody's doing the best they can. When you surrender to see that, you could save lives. The lady's coming today. We're giving her a big birthday. She has all her family here. Nobody cares about her for 5 minutes. So we got balloons and we got gifts and we got stuff all over the walls, and it's going to save her life. Because she's doing the best she can. And so how can you surrender to that experience with each person that you know, especially mommy, daddy, sister, brother? Because if you do, then you're going to gain nourishment. So in Kundalini Yoga, which is not such an advanced yoga, Kriya Yoga is a more advanced yoga. In all the masters and the gurus, they don't do power exercises. Kundalini Yoga is a power thing. That's the main thing you'll do for 3 days if you go to the workshop. It's power breath, that Kundalini fire breath. But it doesn't work because you can, there's a place for it. The 7 steps are the best thing on the planet, guaranteed. There's a place for it. I might not exemplify them, but my intellect in defining them, having been a monk of 3 traditions, having authored 14 books, having only done this every day my whole life, forget it. It's like the best thing there is. I don't know how good I follow it, but as far as the structures are, it's like the best. Anyway, in all the systems, you have a little bit of power up breathing like we do for a couple minutes in the real enlightened masters. But it's not an endless sort of a thing, because power, looking at itself, discovers that it's spirit. So you can't actually develop power to create enlightenment. Power, this said this way in the scriptures of Kung Fu. If you have your intention on energy, which is very much Kundalini Yoga, even though, of course, like everything, there's a lot of benefits, nice thing and all, but it ain't guru land. I don't care what they say. They might have a nice guru guy at the top of it, but often Kundalini Yoga is a bit, and the sex thing is always sex going too much, a little distorted there, because they're big on power development. That's what Kundalini is. Kundalini is the power of enlightenment. But it says in the scriptures of Kung Fu, for example, which is the same as the scriptures of Zen, and Qigong, which is the essence of Chinese medicine. If you have your intention on energy or power, you'll only be confused. If you have your intention on spirit, your energy will be invincible. You'll outpower anybody. God forbid you apply your power. You could destroy and create a lot of shit. You don't want to use your big girl voice because that's serious stuff. You want to stay away from it. So power is to be invested in purification. Power is only to be invested in expression if the person cuts in front of you in a bully way and it's a bad thing. Now you can use that. But when you go to karate school or you go to Kundalini yoga classes, it's all about power. And, you know, you go to karate schools, and I told the son that of the student, it was at the karate school, and even though they're like national champions, I'm not afraid of them at all. I said, that karate nonsense now. It's making you so tough. So you have to work with your emotions. You're not going to gain power and get anywhere. Power is going to get you in trouble. Sex is going to get you in trouble. Unless love's involved. Otherwise, it's going to unplug your cork, and you're only going to have emotional problems and physical problems and weaknesses and taking care of weak men and all kinds of nonsense. But if your spirit is what you're cultivating, which is all to do with, God knows, I don't have a clue really, but something like something like your psychological coherence. If you have your spirit be your main thing, love, all those good things, emotional intelligence. The children should have classes about emotional intelligence through the whole year. Pick one thing, pick another topic, 5 minutes every day or whatever, once a week. Here's an idea of how you can deal with if there's some trouble in your family or something, you know. So it's all about that. Now, if you do that, I met with the MMA fighter guy. When he stood up, he's like this much taller than me, and he had tattoos everywhere, and he did the hooks, and he's so tough. He's not tough at all. I have to hold my hands. I told the little boy, I said, when I'm with Ben, if he wants to play sparring with me, I actually have to hold my hands because I could hurt him. And I'm 57 years old. And the reason is because I have magnetic energy in a unique way. So Kundalini yoga and your own sort of desire in life says, hey, I want that magnetic energy. I want sex appeal. I want strength. And so the scriptures of how to get that all talk about one thing. Do not be overly involved with energy stuff. No master person is overly involved with energy stuff. If you're involved with spiritual stuff, calming the mind, listening to silence, calming down, surrendering. So Lena, it's the same every single day, 7 days a week for 430 years. So the lady's coming over, and she's getting everything, and we got the stuff outside, and we got the cake, and we got the stuff, and everything, right, you know. And every day it's the same thing. I have to hold her in such a way, as she does me, I know, but I have to hold her in such a way to get her to remember, because you forget. Everybody forgets. That's the main thing. You have to say, I forgot. So that the bubble bursts of doing, of worrying, of thinking, and you then find yourself again and you begin to meditate. Because that's the preparation that has to be done that's primary, not the balloons. I get it that we have to do the balloons and we have to do our homework and we have to get the food, and I'm do all that. I'm the cook, I'm the cleaner. Everything is ready. But the reason is that first you have to meditate. So because I need to help others to get this sort of awareness in their psyche, I've got to be doing it 24 hours a day. I have to do it at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Then I have to do it for 2 hours with Lena. Then I have to do it with 2 hours with student. Then I have a break. Then I have to do it for 2-3 hours with student again, so forth. Because the devotional life is the only life you'll ever be offered. You're not offered a different kind of life. There is no other kind of life. You can get anything you want. You can have everything, anything, whatever it is. Don't worry. But first, you have to calm down, slow down, stop, reverse your search. You have to make sure that happens. So, Kundalini is the result of the yamas and niyamas and Patanjali's Sutra of yoga. And in every tradition, it's talked about a different way. In yoga, it's dharana, dhyana, samadhi, samyama. And I just say this to look impressive. I can tell you in English. It's true, because if you look impressive or if you demonstrate a lot of knowledge, then people go, oh, I'll listen to him. But then in Tibetan Buddhism, well, at real yoga, if you want to impress anybody to do with anything with yoga, and Kundalini is a part of yoga, Kundalini is based on dharana, dhyana, samadhi, samyama. Dharana is first a fight of concentration to be able to extend your attention span.
A lot of names for the same thing.
Absolutely. In Zen, it's called Bampu Shikantanza Samadhi Jiriki. In Tibetan Buddhism, it's called Shamatha Vipassana Samadhi Lungta Dutsi. So Dutsi is the essence of Kundalini, hormonal nectar. So when you first get into this stuff and you say, Tantra, oh, but Tantra is actually an inner energy thing. So Kundalini is all into the energies and all into talking about the sex and everything. It's really, it has a place, but what you need is emotional integrity, behavioral integrity, and getting the transmission. It's all in the transmission. So there's this one of the greatest Kundalini yogi guys in history is called Yogi Bhajan, and great book, The Power of the Spoken Word. And so many of these teachers, they have stories of sex with all their students and things like that. But he was a nice one, and I received initiation into that, all of these things, really. And I'm afraid of Kundalini yoga because it's a power thing. And I don't need power. I need kindness, maybe something like that. I can't like do something to become somebody. Maybe I could surrender and be nicer or listen more, But if I start working out more or doing the Kundalini fire breath, that's the thing that you do in a Kundalini forever. In any Kundalini class, you'll be, which is great. But I told the martial guys, a couple of years ago, I'm not teaching, and I told the little boy, I'm not teaching you guys martial arts stuff anymore. You can't stop being scared. There's no use in me doing that. I'm over it. I think the essence of martial arts is knowing that people can beat you up and you could die. I think that's the essence of it. And then you become spiritual instead. So you don't have to worry about getting energy if you're following spiritual principles. When you get done with this step one stuff and you feel comfortable, now you begin to discharge whatever stuff you feel that you need to let go of because you feel safe. That's what causes the sleep. Meditation is conscious sleeping. How's the shoulder? Back to being a little more healed this week?
Feel like it. I've been, doing stuff.
No matter what, we want to do something to get it. I'm going to stretch to get enlightened. Yeah, sure. Ooh, that's fun. So yoga, Kundalini, anything to do with the physical body is a prep for meditation. Meditation is based on spiritual values. What we need to learn to become Superwoman, Superman is meditation. That's the only thing that's going to work for getting what you want. And that includes power. Sorry, go ahead.
Concerned about I feel more driven to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You never know. Forest bath, nice. So they go into the woods and lay on the back. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds pretty spiritual. Let's see. What is Kundalini yoga practices? Yes. Breathing exercises, repetitive poses, chanting, singing to activate your Kundalini energy. That's at the base of your spine.
so many names for things. I feel like
Yeah. All of these different systems, no matter what culture you're talking about, they all speak about, in Kundalini Yoga, it's called prananupana, the descending energy, calming down, slowing down, quieting down, settling down. We think it's a suppression. It's not a suppression. And then the prana, which is the ascending energy. So these cycles of descending and ascending energy in every tradition is the same as going to sleep and waking up. Once you begin to understand that they all are saying the same things, and maybe you have some vernacular to understand the same things. I'm reading a book of a lady that went to Tibet in 1920. That's interesting to see what's going on there. And it becomes the 7 steps. It absolutely becomes the 7 steps, because you'll see that in every tradition you have to have a need. They all start with confession and transparency, all of them. So the presence of Jesus shows up on the scene, and now you got this big light on your face and you're exposed. And in that exposure, you have to drop the defense mechanisms and be transparent and tell the truth about what isn't right with you. So if you can't do that, then you won't heal. So that's step 1. All traditions do that. Step 2 is you have to receive the transmission from somebody else. The air is not you. Einstein knows more about physics than you do, so forth. You actually have to trust and obey, 'cause there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. So as an intercessor, the intercessor means that you have substitutionary virtue. You take the virtue out of me. I'm playing teacher here for now. You take the virtue out of me and you dump on me. You have to have a substitution. A good parent, that's what a good parent does and a good teacher does. You take out the bad and you take it on and you give them your good. So you don't get up at 5 in the morning. How could you possibly do that? There's always a war for who gets the energy between the people in that school. In the physical world, like animals, we have this back and forth thing that we go with each other. But the sage saint person that's connected to substitutionary virtue, a person, substitutionary discharge, punishment, dumping on, then the relationships are contained in the umbrella of a greater sphere. These audios you have, these videos, these practices. So that's step 2. Now, step 2 could be step 1, and step 1 could be step 2. It all goes back and forth. But for the advanced, step 1 is the exposure, personal exposure. Secret sins, secret lusts, so forth, so forth. You do that, and you become completely transparent. Now you go to step 2, you let the intercessor in. They're working on cleaning up your act. And if you don't have an act to clean up, Jesus said, if you say you have no sin, then you have no place in me, and you're a liar. That's what Jesus said. So one of the most difficult things is that when it comes to healing your shoulder. So you want to heal your shoulder. You want to be safe from diseases. And since that's a check mark on that definition, I'm telling you how to do it. So I don't make the rules. I didn't make the syntax. I don't make the science. It's just what it is. Now in step 2, the science says you have to slow down. And you have these quotes from that audio, you let that in. You have some elements of me, you let that in. You have the Jesus, Buddha, sages and saints community, Garchen Rinpoche, oh my gosh, so many things. You let that in. And you lengthen the breath, you sense nasal airflow. Let's do a form of natural reunion. All the meditation systems say that this world, these nature's elements, is the foundation for meditation. So you can't ignore it. So you bow to everyone, everything, everywhere, every inside of tree, every ocean, every animal, every bird in flight, every mountain, every star, every so forth. You bow to everything. And specifically now, let's bow to the sky. And you open up to the sky, and you have to practice feeling more than one nourishment at once. You've got the clouds, you've got the boundary layer to stars, you've got the blueness, you've got birds up there. And bring it all in. Inner looking, inner listening, inner sensing, heartfelt. Bring it down to your heart. Heart's a gland as well as an organ, so it secretes hormones. So you have to become heart warmed. All the meditation traditions, the heart becomes warm. When people die in all meditation traditions, 2 months after they're dead, their heart's still warm and their bodies don't decay. In every tradition, their bodies don't decay, 6 months, stuff like that. No matter what tradition you go to, it's everywhere. Obvious that it's true. So what does that mean? There's a lot of stuff to learn and experience if you haven't been looking at all this forever. A lot of wonderful, interesting things. So you have this magnetic energy, and it goes down through your heart, and you activate your heart. You become a little more heartfelt. And then down through your body, sex, legs, feet, earth. Touch the earth underneath you. Prayer hands. Ground and bow to the earth underneath you. And now, can you feel the soil and the magma and the teeming life that's in there, the beetles and whoever else lives there, and the center of the earth? Can you feel all that? Can you still feel the sky and the stars, 3 a.m. starlight? Can you bring that up and touch your head? You have to do rituals. Well, they all do rituals, and then bring it down through, face shining inwards, heartfelt, through the center line of the body, building your foundation. In every tradition, the Kundalini, in Qigong is called Gu Jing, is the first thing that has to be healed before you get any kind of energy that causes you to be beyond the matrix or whatever.
I missed that. What's the first thing to heal?
The root, the sex. All of them say that. Everybody says that. And if you look at your conscience, you'll see that as you go down your centers, that's the most dense, conflicted place of your psyche. Well, that's okay. That's why we do this grounding thing. That's why you do the stretching with the students. And so last night, in the middle of the night, I got this new Maharishi thing from Audible. It was wonderful. The Guru of the Beatles that I was the head of security for for his major retreat center. And it said he meditated 20 hours a day. So I heard these interviews with the Beatles and Maharishi. There was a lost interview that I happened to come across because I'm always searching for something new because I have the attention span of a gnat. So if I get something new, then, captures my attention. Everybody's like that. Principles of Miracles, and you put that on in 2 weeks, you'll be like, oh, yeah, well. So he said he meditated 20 hours a day. So the people that have extraordinary abilities, they all do that. So that's my destiny, I pray, because that's what I am. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if all the people that have miraculous powers go in the desert for 40 days and wander, and there's all these experiences of extreme purification. In those principles, it says miracles are possible, but purification is necessary first. So you'll find out that you go with the food and the sex and emotions, and that's about it where you need purification. And everybody needs purification with food and sex. Like I took the ice cream out last night after dinner, and I'm laying there watching something. Honey Pie said, "Do you want some ice cream?" And I already put it out, And I said, "Oh, well, I don't know. It's Then I said, "Yes." So, we feed each other in the community of this process of healing each other. So to experience purification with emotion, with drink and food, with speech, with sex, ideation, ways of masturbation, all this kind of stuff, that's all like the essence of spirituality. There's not really any other subjects, So anyhow, when you do that, when you experience a little cleaning from sexual trauma, from sexual confusion, from sexual compulsivity, which we all have, then you land. That's how you become Superwoman. Just a little bit of time following the directions from Trust of what I'm saying, to pay attention, what you're doing. This is the essence of what Kundalini is supposed to be about, but you can't do it by force, by generating power. Yeah. So then you have this experience of root, groundedness. So in the Shaolin Kung Fu and in Zen, they say that your legs don't fill and you can't touch the earth until you have Gu Jing, which means a healthier sexuality. All right. So the energy comes down the front line of the body. It goes into the earth, just like going to sleep. That's what happens when you go to sleep. Everything comes in and down and you become heavy. You touch earth and you soak up power into your body. Then you wake up and you bloom. So that's rooting and blooming. That's step 4 and 5. So all the essence of all of these systems are in the 7 steps. Prana and Upana in Kundalini Yoga is the descending current. That's rooting. And the ascending current. That's blooming. So in Kundalini Yoga, you have the root of energy in the body. And that root of energy in the body is best exemplified in Kriya Yoga. There's different roots, but for now, we're going to just use this one root, which is imagine that energy is coming up from the base of the spine, kind of like a Tesla coil. So you got maybe 2 things on the side. This is yoga. This is Kundalini Yoga. There's 2 poles on either side, positive and negative. And then just like the Tesla coil, the energy is in the center. Now, the spinal cord is the densest place of your memories. Spine and brain and nerve is the altar of God. So once you get this magnetic heat, which is the easiest way to understand it, is sexual turn on, but it can be other ways too, right? So you have this magnetic energy, magnetic heat. So this goes up the spine. You have to use your mind to make it go up the spine, out the third eye, over the top of the head, and down the back, down the vertebrae of the back. So when can you move a magnetic wave? When you have it. So how do you get the trust of all the students? because that's the only way that you're going to get the magnetic healing, is when you have the trust of this field of psychic magnetism.
Like cleansing myself.
Right. Yeah. So that requires being wrong, by the way, or ignorant, or all those bad words that nobody ever wants me to talk about. Anything to do with step one ever. There's not one student ever. I get it. But these sage saint people, that's all they talk about. Apostle Paul said he's the worst sinner in the world. The guy that does miracles. He said he's the chief among sinners. So if you really tell the truth about the negative internal dialogue and the unrepressed sexual ideations and the negative emotion and the whatever, you really tell the truth about that. So my suggestion is make a tape of it and put it on YouTube. And then so you have, the hidden resentment thing. I'm going to demolish that. Talk about warfare. I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to transmute it because I don't want it for you. So it's my hidden resentment, that you're showing me. Anybody else's stuff you can see as your stuff if you have an internal body. If you just have a head, you can't see it as your stuff. You can't see Brent's stuff as your stuff because of objectified perception only. If you want to have a miraculous solution to the Brent psychic confusion, then just see his stuff as your stuff. Now, I don't mean, take it on, martyrdom like that. What I mean is that there's something in you that identifies with his gimme, gimme, gimme pity party stuff.
Yeah. So is that just revealed to me?
Yeah.
Let it go and accept it.
You have to look into your shoulder and trace that to your organs and find out why you feel uncomfortable now. Because that's your fault. No matter what he does, Satan himself, no matter what they do, whoever they are, you've got to keep up to find a way to see how it is that you feel uncomfortable or you have a lack of emotional response ability, the ability to respond. That's responsibility. Put that for your students. Responsibility. I'm going to tell you what responsibility means. Response, it's the ability to respond. If something happens, somebody yells in your family or you spill the milk or whatever, how quickly can you respond? Responsibility. To be able to clean up your mess, make yourself safe, figure out that they're doing the best they can, and if they're yelling, it's their problem maybe. Something. So your responsibility to do with Brent is dependent upon a history of codependent relationships. Why do you do that? I've given up because nobody has anything to give me. You can give me a little of this, you give me $1, you give me a kind thing, give me a nice hug, but ultimately, you ain't got much to give me. I'm really alone. And in that experience of understanding that the other person is experiencing that too, then the savior complex is gone. You can't be my savior, I can't be your savior. So now you're not going to get anything that's going to be your great solution. But if you think about an orgasm, you think about a piece of cake. I'm thinking about the piece of cake today. I had to take a 3-hour drive to get the cake Lena wanted me to get.
I bet it's so good.
White, I don't know what it is. I want it bad. Yeah. All right, forget it. Let's just get the cake. So you find out what is this compulsion that I have in relationship with men this way? Why? Why am I not honored? I will be honored in relationship from this point forward. Nobody's getting anywhere near me that's doing that kind of thing. I have enough of my own problems. I don't need your help. So now you can clean it out. You can see in the psychic world where it exists in relationship to your right side, because that's kind of your thing. You can trace. I mean, I could see it, but you have to stay in contact with your body to trace it in psychic space. You can't be thinking all the time. So the breath gets longer now. Let's see how I'm doing this time with the time. 10:30, 11:30, a little better. Oh. Long sounds, nasal airflow, eyelid light, remembering real guru people, Yogananda, so forth. Any luck on the Yogananda book? Are you stuck?
Well, on the one finger's end.
Yeah, let's see. Let's do it. I'm just going to watch. Entertain me. All right. Okay. Well, that's good enough for me. Can you do it on your own and just right in front of my face? Just go ahead and be on stage. Yeah, just sit seat. It's fine. Yeah. You have to. You have. You have to have the pressure of the person looking at you, because that's the only thing that happens in this world is a bunch of people looking at you. So you've got to not have enlightenment on your bed secretly. You have to have enlightenment in front of people's faces.
What do you mean?
I mean that your secret inner world, everybody has a secret inner world. Your daughters think, when is my mother going to realize that I'm special, that I'm actually the special, unique one? Every single human being is waiting for somebody else to realize that they're special and unique, which you are. But what I'm saying is you have to demonstrate it in front of people's faces. Your magic, your mystery. You have to put it in their face. You have to print them with it. You have to emanate it with them. Now, if you're teaching, you can do that because it's a skill you have. But you've got to do it with your family of origin and your children and the gas station attendant and the cars that are driving near you. You have to be the master wherever you go. Why? Because you can. You are that. That's what you are. And you're waiting, like your daughters and everybody else, you're waiting for somebody else to give you the stamp of approval. Nobody's ever going to give you the stamp of approval because they are starving. People are starving to get the stamp of approval from other people. So you can give the stamp of approval to the children. Now you have to give it to men.
That's part of where my frustration comes in. What I do.
But the secret that you're hiding is that you're the magic girl and that you're the teacher. So who's benefiting from that? I'm not benefiting from that. You're not helping me at all by doing that. You have to take charge and treat me as you would treat anybody else from your enlightened perspective, which means it's no holds barred thing. There's no playing around. There's negative, neutral, and positive. Some elements of who I am, you have to ground a bit. Some elements of who I am, you have to be neutral a bit. Some elements of who I am, you have to encourage and say, good job. You are the master, not me. I'm a projection, a fabricated thing that you created in a movie picture of your life. And God is asking you, take your place. You do with the children, you got to do with their parents. And you got to do it with those people that are in the building as well as with you. It's just you realize that you're aging and you're going to die. So this is it. This is your only chance. You must not die with the symphony of your life unfinished. A bridge teacher only goes so far. He's just a friend, you know. But there's enlightened masters. And you have that. Everybody has that magic in their secret world. Well, if you're playing a manipulative game with men to get energy and attention, then you can't be authentic and honest with them because you're secretly, maybe trying to get something, trying to be cherished, trying to be adored, trying to be whatever.
I like to think that I'm transparent, like who I am. I know I'm not. I'm sure I'm hiding things. However, one thing that, when I do talk to men, I think touch my heart. I've been trying to notice when I do things with my arms and hands.
Oh, cool.
That's an invitation to
sex. That's how I think.
conversation.
Yes. Those aren't men. Those are boys. Find some men.
That's one of the things that Brent said to me when we met, and that was my he said he left home, he got divorced, he left home a boy, and he's coming back into the world as a man.
Mm-hmm.
That got me because I thought that's what it was.
First, understand biology. I think that there's always like these two sides of the coin thing, and in the one sense, obviously, you're magically transparent and wonderful. But I already know that, and I honor you for that, and I give you enough kudos all the time, repeatedly for that. Because that's true. But what I do as teachers, I want to find out what stuff is going on that's ruining things. That's what you have to tolerate me for. Because forget about man and woman for a second, and then I'll go back to that. Because I always can see how maybe if you're an immaculate person, then you want to hold space for the other person and you want to teach them. You want to hold space, appreciate them, go back and forth. But really, you're kind of withholding being the teacher kind of a thing for people in general. Never do it. Never do that. Stay grounded in the humility of I don't know at all times. And then everybody will trap themselves because people can't stop knowing. Now think about the biology of a man. Penis, heat-seeking missile. Think about the biology of a woman. Vagina, at the root of stuff, okay? Sorry about talking about sex all the time. I don't know. It's perverted. But that's receptive. That's the flower waiting for the bird to bring the bee to bring the pollen. We got all these squashes out there. I'm waiting for the bees to get working. So those are two different biologies. So one is projecting energy all the time. One is accepting energy all the time. That's the basic biological difference of men and women. So never expect a man to be receptive and things like that, unless they're a sage. Well, I don't know. Oh, well, a man, that's not a man. A man has to be connected to a superior. I don't think so because he got the sex. Hey. So listen, a man is not a man until they're under authority. I think I'm a man, which because I know I'm not a man. Maybe that's why I'm a man. I don't know. I don't care. I'm busy. But the thing is, I'm under authority. I like to wear dresses. No, really. But the thing is, I'm under authority. I'm not me. I don't know me. I'm not good enough. I don't do that. I don't do man like this. I don't do that. And that's why, God forbid, I hit somebody with one of my knuckles because the it's beyond imagination the power I've developed. Uh, and I don't want that to stop. That power has to be put into healing my dumb ass. This is a how to heal your own dumb ass class, and I'm head dumb ass. I don't ever want to change that. So Benjamin, Kevin, so many people, no matter what, they can't stop projecting. Being a man, being sure, knowing what they're doing, taking more action. It's just total nonsense. It will not get them anything except hatred with their wife and body problems and illnesses and things like that. So the only thing that makes a man or a woman is when you're under a teacher. You're not a man or a woman until you recognize I don't really know so much and I have problems and I'm not so perfect. And you're able to say that to anybody. Until that's part of your persona. Years ago, people would say, how are you doing? Just an ordinary conversation. And me being the out there person I was or am, I would always say, what would you like to know about? The hell, the heaven, or the transcendental synthesis? Total nut, right? Now I realize, doing well, thanks. How's everything going? And to outdo that common sort of thing. How's it going? How's the kids? To outdo them at their own surface nonsense game, which really, if I'm being honest, it's a surface nonsense world that I don't have no idea what anybody's talking about ever. No matter what anybody does or says, I have no conception. Only that they're doing the best they can. They're afraid to see their inner world. And I could be an adult and just make them feel safe with the weather and with the understanding of environment and showing them honesty and clarity and transparency and thank you very much and on my way. But years ago, that's what my answer would be. So if you're expecting this world to understand you, as long as you expect that, you're going to be disappointed because it's not possible. There is no way. It is impossible. You want to be an adult female gal with your children and with the kids, then you have to be like Hugh Len. You watch that 9-part interview?
Yes.
100% responsible for your own experience. And you'll see that you're exposed at every turn, constantly, by the way people drive, by the way people talk, by the way people butt in line. It's 8 billion bullies. Nonsense. I have nothing to do with the world in the ordinary sense. Not zero. Now, as far as 8 billion people doing the best they can, I have to become more sagely and more humble to accept them where they're at because there's magic in connecting to an enlightened person, and I got it. And so they don't. But on the other end of it, they're God wearing a mask and I'm not any better. And they're the one that's the expression of life. And so when you think about men, when you think about partnership, nobody should ever touch you unless it's very, very clear what the dynamics are and what the interests are. You should never let anybody touch you unless there's a commitment to mutual healing. Not he's nice or he's, showing me. That's all men do that to get the clothing off. You remember how it works in high school and in the beginning of a relationship? I said to the one student the other day, I said, you really cherish everybody and you want to be with your wife and, it's just amazing and a new birth. As soon as you have an orgasm, you can't do anything to get away from her. So if a man does not control his orgasms a little bit, there is no way he can be in relationship with a woman. So I have to talk about these sexual things because it's important. You don't have any power as a man if you're orgasming all the time physically. How about if you didn't orgasm all the time as a man physically? You're a walking magnetic power. And the woman all of a sudden becomes receptive, like my macho opinion. They're supposed to be. That's what your biology is. You're master of the spiritual world and the emotional world, in my opinion. And I'm master of the physical world, magnetism world, because I have more force out here, woolly mammoth stuff. So if you don't understand how to raise a man or how to raise a woman, there's just no business in being in relationship. It's not a game for sex and to have somebody to watch a movie with. It's a total commitment or nothing.
Yeah, I'm not out there looking.
Question. Do you have one? Do you have a question? Okay. That was good. What did I make? I forgot. I'm a big cooker. I cook everything. Oh, I did the floors, yeah. But I cook everything. The ladies bring in potato salad, and I'm going to make fish, rice. I always make too much and buy too much. So I don't know. It's always the battle with Lena is to make it simple and clean and nice. And I want to make 50 things, but I'll try to comply. I think it's just fish and some salad. I don't know. Today, fish salad. Yeah. Huh?
That's what you're making for today?
Yeah. And lettuce and something from the garden. No more berries. Lettuce and what else did I get? Different kinds of lettuce. Oh, kale. Lettuce and kale from the garden, and I'll crisp up the kale and make the fish nice. It's about 70. Really nice.
It's in the 70s.
I think it's lower 70s. There's these sheaths. It's hot there.
Yeah.
You know, I went on this swamp cooler thing, an air conditioner thing. Now I've got air conditioners and swamp coolers everywhere. It works. The swamp cooler works great. You just get some ice from the freezer and you put it on top. The post office air conditioner went out, so I gave him the swamp cooler and I gave him a bag of ice almost every day until they got it fixed. 3 weeks maybe. Oh, oh, that's right. Yeah, but I think I did just come back from there anyway.
Yeah.
Nice meeting. There's these sheaths in yoga. It means these layers of protection. Vulnerability is invincibility. So make your breath as long as you can now. Longer, longer, longer. 2 hours the class is, I decided. You can only last like an hour and a half, but nope. 2 hours, I said. I'm doing
I didn't hear you.
2 hours. The class is 2 hours. Well, I noticed that about an hour and a half you start to get fidgety, but I'll do I, I'll do better. I'm going to do better. Don't worry. Oh, ma. Find the source of thought. Longer breath. match up, nose to nose, eyes to eyes, mouth to mouth, ears to ears, centers to centers with everybody in your life. Be in touch with everybody in your life, meaning face off with them. And what's that? Right on. So that's intimacy. That's what the woman wants. The man wants separation. No, it's great. It's just that if you're receptive without the overflow producing boundaries, then you're always going to be taken advantage of. So that's the hardest part of this class is understanding that. But over time, it's non-cognitive. You don't have a cognition of use your big voice, somebody cuts in line in a bully-like way. Contact the teachers, the people that are bigger, rally your resources. We don't do that here. That one little boy came out of the car, 4 years old or something like that. He's got a knife, big knife. He's moving the knife around. I said, you take the knife and put it in the car. We don't do that here. So we're in the car then afterwards with the knife, and the father's scared to death, and the kid has the knife in his hand again. And the father's like this. I'm like, because it's a person moving a knife around. And the kid like a demon's like, nope. That's the difference between Kentucky and Colorado. Kentucky people wouldn't put up with that nonsense for half a second. Right, right. You want to have knives, you better be responsible. Mm-hmm. So when I told him when he came out of the car with it and he's moving it around and things like that, he just went into this giant tears. Never want to talk to you again. Never see you. And he's hiding in the car like this. And we got in the car together. And then after a few minutes, he's laughing his head off. And then, weirdest thing, every time he started to go back into that mode again, which drugs and I don't know what, you know, when he got near me, he'd fall over. He'd be in the backyard and he starts to do these crazy things, whatever. And I would just, notice him while I'm teaching the father. And then when he tried to like impose that on me, like 5 times, he falls over. Such a great demonstration about energetic self-defense of what you need. Huh? Yeah, right, right. Right. I've got this thing, the teachers are the best or something like that, this ruler. I was thinking of you this morning. I was seeing it. Yeah. So to develop this, we have to have advanced meditation. So the breath has to become super long. And we find that the tiger finds no place to land its claw. So the 3 kids that are energetic in the class, primarily 2, those ones projecting at you, they find something. Brent saying, yeah, you of course you're fine. You're just on vacation all summer. I don't think you want to hear what my response might be. Because I have a Liam Nelson button. I think it's too rude. I'm very, 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 very rude and violent in certain those kinds of things. I don't tolerate that kind of communication. Now, if it's somebody I didn't know or whatever, in other words, I'm not doing that. So if it's like Liam Nelson, they abducted the daughter. The bad people abducted the daughter. She wanted to go to France at 17. He didn't want it, and he didn't want in the movie Taken, and he didn't want to. Great movie, but very aggressive, violent, and he got her to yell out when she was being abducted what the guy looked like and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, he gets on the phone because the guy got on the phone and he said, listen, I don't have any money, so You can't get that from me? He said, but I have a very particular set of skills. He says, if you let her go now, that's the end of it. He said, otherwise, I will find you and I will kill you. And the guy said, good luck. And then, of course, he found him and killed him. But when somebody speaks in such a way that's nonsense, I would just say that kind of nonsense. I don't communicate like that. And then if it was more, I could be very aggressive in what I say. But it's very difficult to understand the world of non-cognitive protection or self-defense. All the police, all the fighters, they're all scared to death. I'm not scared to death because I'm scared to death. They won't tell the truth that they're scared to death. So because of that, they're a distorted scared to death. It's Navy SEAL says, if you're not scared, you're either stupid or you have a mental disorder. So if somebody's to say this kind of a thing like that, pretty much they're like almost written off by me. I mean, I can tolerate us saying bad things to each other, making mistakes when we're in bad moods or whatever, but that sounds like a child that is talking. That sounds like a torturer. That's what I thought of Taken. That sounds like somebody that's in your head that's owning a rent-free place in your head, and it's done through manipulation by you caring about him or something. And so that's why I had that reaction with that. So as you go deeper into meditation, your breath lengthens and your pulse lengthens. And love happens more. And love is ultimate power. Like I've said to the endlessly scared Ben guy, who just can't stop, I said, how are you going to attack me if I believe that you're God trying to love me? That's why you're not effective with me in fighting, that I'm dominant. Because that's what I'm trying to do. You're trying to keep me out and have control, and I'm trying to find out, why am I scared here? That's all I'm trying to do. I told the little boy, that's what martial arts is. The father said, what is martial arts then? Tell him. And I said, well, it's certainly not developing more power and going, ha, 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 and being able to hit things harder. For me, it's a way to find out where I'm weak. That's what it is for me. Because that's why I have trouble in my life, because I have distortion in my mind-body behavior. So the reason the violence and death and distortion and disease is that. That's the reason of that stuff, is to show you where you have a participating role in not surrendering and trusting. So if you trust, then the projection, let's say of Brent, comes forward and it doesn't touch the thing in your shoulder. So it doesn't create this dynamic war dynamic. It falls over because there's nothing there anymore. It's clean. And then when it falls over, the animal's going to pull back. So, whoa, I'm getting eat alive. I better not go towards this because there's nothing for me to pick on. So the cleansing process happens in meditation, where the love and the spiritual principles, and you measure up to it, and you look like you have a lot of issues. So you just keep on surrendering. Longer breath. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. And you never do with people. The heck with people. Enlightened masters. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Mamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Lokaham Samastaha. You have to define the scriptures you like in the Bible and make your own Bible. That's what the Bible is from God. So now you have quotes and practices and beliefs and sound bites and things you've seen, heard, all in one place, so that when you go into devotion, you can experience all of these. Guru Brahma, ritual. They all do ritual. The planets revolve around the spinning row again, again, again. It's all ritual. I change it up. There's classic and creative elements. So the classic elements I'm just surrendered to. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Om ah hum. Om ah hum. Om ah hum. They all have transmissions. So it's not me doing it, it's Jesus doing it, Buddha doing it. That's the Garchen Rinpoche. Ma. Power going up the spine, healing power, healing magnetic field, healing magnetic field. Oh, they all do up and down the spine. So it's not for you to understand, this is weird, what is this all about? No, it's for you to follow directions. That's it. Yeah. Oh, then you'll find out after a while what it's all about. If they all say the same thing, which they do, every single spiritual tradition up and down the spine. In the Bible, it says, believe, Jesus said, believe on me, and from your belly, believe on me. Sounds a bit egotistical. That's a guru. Believe on me. Believe on, you believe on who you want, a person. Make it a person. Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, all the historical ones, they're wonderful. And then you've got these Amachis, and you got, it works. There's no explaining it to anybody. Nobody's going to believe in a yoga or it's all for nuts. But you don't have to be the nut one. You be the real one. Believe on me, and from your belly will flow rivers of living water. Jesus said that. Believe on me, that means take your attention, believe on the enlightened master. You put your, just like you believe in the man when he holds you and kisses you and the rest of it. You believe on and you surrender yourself. It's the same thing. And then once you do that, then power flows in you because it's all the transmission. It's all in the transmission. But now it's not an ordinary person like you and I. It's an enlightened master person. So that will facilitate your relationship with people, and or just people. But the primary has to be this enlightened thing. Believe on me, from your belly will flow rivers of living water. The belly has 6 layers of muscle and fat. Muscle is positive electricity. Fat is negative electricity. So when you believe on, let's say, the sky for a moment, it should be person, but sky, stars. Now the power comes down through your head and it goes into your body and it builds up power down in your depths. After you have enough of that power, then you bloom, you open up. Old Testament says a person without sexual energy is a dry tree.
A dry tree?
Yeah. So the roots are where? Roots of your body, feet, sex, digestion. So the process of meditation is pulling back your attention and lengthening your breath. Believe on me, and from your belly will flow rivers of living water. Jesus Christ, JC. King James, original Greek. Believe on me, and from your bellies will flow rivers of living water. And the reference to sexual energy and dry tree. Oh, so you slow down more. And you have this magnetic energy that you can move up and down the spine. And you become sovereign, independent of ordinary people, and into your connection with what you want, who you want. So I have these classic things because the ordinary people, I mean, if you're looking at me, I'll fail you because I'm just not that good. So the bridge teacher is great, but you got to go to I believe in Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, the most amazing book. The Bible is number 1 translation. The Tao Te Ching is number 2. How can I describe the quality of an enlightened person? Hesitant, as if crossing an iced over stream. Receptive, like a grandmother. Simple and shapeable, like an uncarved block of wood. How can I tell this? By looking inside myself. So you take time for this in two ways. This is all an answer to your one question about you do the same things. You take time to have classic things, certain quotes from the Bible, put them all on a piece of paper. Certain quotes I said, somebody else. You've got to make your religion, which is given from God by what works for you as an individual, what loves you and heals you. You have to make that concise and clear. Then you'll have classic elements that you can say. Sanskrit is the oldest religion in the world, the oldest language in the world. That's Jayamo Devalava Guntanavatim Tejo Maim Naishtikim Snigdha Pangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmita Shri Mukim Vatsalyam Ritavarshinim Sumariram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangim Madhusikta Suktim Bhagavatim Amrita Nandatmikam Ishwarim. That's the oldest mantra to do with meditation. Om, Ah, Hum. That's Garchen Rinpoche, who is the greatest living meditation master in Tibetan Buddhism. He says thoughts itself is samsara, or illusion. You begin to go into meditation. You're lengthening your breath. You're lengthening your breath. You're lengthening the pulse. You're getting heavier in your body. That's from Garchen Rinpoche, Om, Ah, Hum. When you do one finger Zen, let's do it. Om, Ah, Hum. It's the same, Om, Ah, Hum. And then you bow. And then see what you could do. Use your breath, longer breath, longer breath. Open up, open up. And then I guess he just goes like that. I have certain things I do different, but like this, yeah. And then he goes like this, just the right side, right over left. And you feel the magnetism between your wrists. And then turn it. Right. Lao Gong. And you go like this. So Qigong is when you start to work with the energy world. You feel the magnetism. So now you take this meditation stuff that we had and you put it into your physical presence in relationship with Brent, daughters, school, authorities, and neighbors. So you have this then, you feel the magnetism. All right, and then you turn it over, right? Turn this over. And then I go counterclockwise, clockwise. I think he just does clockwise. Oh, you do that first? I don't know. I've only done it 40,000 times. Yeah. No, but it's okay. This is one of my core ones, but I've adapted it. But oh, does he do counterclockwise too? Right. That's good. Oh, good. That's good. All right. Stop there. Okay. Soften each finger. Soften each finger. Yeah. It's okay. And then you have this. And does he stir it? I forgot. I don't know if he stirs it or not. He goes up and down. Good. Oh, he does counterclockwise. Great. Drop your shoulders. Lengthen your breath. Okay. Yeah. Longer breath. Soften your fingers. Mm-hmm. Sky and earth. Oh, he does left too? I didn't think he did left. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, good. Well, then do left then. All right, here you go. I studied with him and everybody else. And then this way, I forget. Oh, in front of the belly. So one on top of the navel and the other on the bottom of the navel. Okay. Now the sky is your head is talking to the sky and the stars. Okay. This is the main thing. And your feet is talking to the earth. Okay. Now you've got left here and you're doing that. And then you're going to turn it over and spin it around. Slow, super slow. Now, in my face. Do it in my face, slower. That's it. Good. Don't externalize your attention in terms of being only with me. See everything. See me as part of a movie picture. You have to be sovereign. And so you're working with the magnetic fields, which is a scientific fact. The hands of.
Feel it in my hands.
Good.
I don't feel it in my wrist.
Okay. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Slow down. See everything. Don't move your eyes. Now, I used to take my computer and go outside, but I'm not doing it. It's too much trouble. I thought about doing it today, but.
Well, I'm trying to just memorize the techniques.
Yeah. 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 So, 40 million times. Endless, boring repetition. You have to have something physical, something to do with energy. In Kundalini Yoga, you work on each chakra. So in every system, you work on each chakra. Right now, you have external energy, right? Because we did this external stuff. Great. Longer breath. Longer breath. Longer breath. Longer breath. Longer breath. Now take your longer breath. Longer breath. I say longer breath to every single person, 400,000 people. Nobody does it. You're going to be the first person that does it. I've had it. I've had enough. Longer breath. Because you have to be transparent. It's very uncomfortable to be transparent and have longer breath and keep talking to people. You want to go to the bed or the meditation when you do it. But no, the way that you're going to get everything you want out of life, which is a good thing, is you're going to have longer breath in front of people's faces, and you're going to cause them to calm down, because your breath, in effect, on your own, alone, is super long. But they don't even know it. But you are gaining internal power through your meditation, no matter how fast you have to talk or whatever you have to do. Your insides are like the ocean. The winds of other people's behavior makes your wave response. But you are meditating in the depths of the ocean all the time, all the time, every breath, every step. This is the way. And that allows you to bring up more stuff. Now wash the field. Wash the field. All the neighbors, daughters, students, mommy, daddy, sister, brother. Wash it all, wash them all, wash them all. Wash them all, wash them all, wash them all. Inner child, I like that, I like that. No problem with magnetic healing energy with a third grader. I think they got that covered. So how can you honor that and then deal with the behaviors? I don't know. Fingers. Imagine water flowing out of your fingers. There's a word in German, it's called Fingerspitzengefühl. It means intuition is in your fingertips, part of the language. And it's true. Imagine a fire hose of water going out of each of your fingertips. All the sensitivities, your senses, are being nourished and expressing, overflowing in the fingertips. The eyes, the pool, the sky, the earth, people. And you're able to be very, very normal with all this new weird stuff in your life and never be weird for anybody. That doesn't help anything. Just be absolutely ordinary and keep this secret world cultivating. You're welcome. Mon plaisir, mon ami. So what you got going this week? Anything fun? Gonna go on a date with Brent? Oh. Oh. That's so nice. How's the morning times? A little bit early? Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Good. Sounds great. I love it. I love it. See if part of your program now starts to get clear in terms of what you do for energy, what you do for intellect, thoughts, what you do for rituals of words, prayers. In that list of links, I sent you the list of links. That's an exploratory monolith. I don't know. It's just wonderful. It's a result. That's the best of, that's the fruit of a lifetime of my work. Just click, press play here and there, and then make sure that you become very specific, which is the thing that's most difficult for people. You write down doable stuff. I like these 3 quotes, not 20 quotes, but I like these 3 quotes. I like these 3 prayers. I like these 3 video clips. Something, 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 something. I like the one finger Zen. You're working with energy with one finger Zen. If you're not working with energy, you're not doing qigong. So qigong is and yoga has nothing to do with the body. It has to do with energy. The physical stretch is to release energy of a trapped pocket there. But the real process of yoga or qigong or meditation begins when these physical things result in meditation. Take your hands and clasp them together like this. As soon as I did that, this light went off. I wonder what this is all about. My new light. I don't know. I can't have it turning off all the time in the middle. Especially like this. It's weird. Isn't that cool? Really, this is for my keto. It's called Furitama. So you have to develop a rock strong body. The most advanced stuff of Tibetan meditation has more physical exercise that's you couldn't imagine. All of them do. So the physical component is something that's missing because we're so intellectual now. But if you go outside and you connect with the earth, the one finger Zen, and the form of natural reunion, which we do to connect with the elements and the energy, you can always increase your nerve energy. And then you put it into your body. Compress your muscles, your stomach, compress your stomach, all the lower area. You have to have your genital strength, right? That's another thing. Kundalini yoga is called ujjayi breathing, which is like, so I do all this stuff to the extreme, but it's in the context of spiritualities. If you do the physical stuff without the spiritual stuff, it gets you nowhere, except you get too much heat. You already have a bit too much heat. So you don't,
Like roast.
right, right. Yeah, that's perfect. So what you want is to have each gland release hormones. So doing 5 of these you'll develop power naturally. So people have a big confusion with power, either all power or no power, either all spirit or no spirit. That's another dynamic with men and women. Men are going to be into power and women will be like, what the hell is that for? So there's a there's a symbiosis. There's an inclination, but then there's also, you got to listen to the other person too, because they have something that's important. So a couple of these power things is good coming out of meditation. As the main thing, they're useless. But coming out of meditation, you now can bring this magnetic energy we have to activate your body. So let's do 3 of these. Kind of like growling. They do that in Tibetan Buddhism in the most advanced meditation. They do growling and reverse growling. Growling. Growling like an animal. You don't hear me, maybe? You hear it? It doesn't pick up the sound. It filters it out. It's a growl. So growling. Just growl. Growl like a dog. Like that. Yeah. And then this is the part of the most advanced stuff in Tibetan Buddhism. They do all this very physically empowering. And in yoga, and in Kundalini yoga specifically, they do Ujjayi breathing, which is, I know you can't hear it, but it's when you make this throaty sound. All right, so now move the belly in and out fast. We're going to honor Kundalini yoga a little bit and breathe powerfully. All right, now all the muscles from above. Now, if you do this physical part after the spiritual part, your body will develop so much strength, digestive strength, sexual strength, physical strength. You'll be very happy about it. So don't worry. Just do it. You just have to do a little bit now and then. So you can compress just your stomach, Kegel. You can do seated push-ups. You can compress your toes and your feet and your legs. So the masters of physical strength, the Shaolin monks, they do this thing, dynamic tension. Once you have meditation, you have nerve energy, you have magnetic energy. Once you have magnetic energy, you should go for a walk, you should clear out the air, you should do some jump up and down, 15 jumping jacks, just a little bit. And that's a great way to conclude your meditation experience and help transfer it into your relationships, because now your body is more powerful. Your intellect is more clear and sharp to be able to listen and communicate. Okay.
Y'all have a wonderful birthday party.
Thank you very much. What time is it? She'll be here any minute. Oh my God, she's probably already here. All right. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day and week as well. And we'll see you Saturday. Okay. Bye-bye.